Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing my November picks for the month. November is considered nonfiction November, so I decided I'm gonna put a pause on my fall TBR. I wasn't reading it anyway. I'm gonna put a pause on my fall TBR though and pick up a few nonfiction books for the month of November. November is also my birthday month, and so really excited to read these picks. They've been ones that I've been wanting to read for a while, but just haven't gotten around to it. So this month will be dedicated to all of my recent nonfiction pickups. So the first two books are actually a part of the series, and they're by the same author. So the first book in the series was All About Love by Bella Hooks. And then the second book is Salvation. Salvation is about Black people in love by Bell Hooks. And then the third book is Communion, and this is about the female search for love. So for the month of November, I plan on picking both of these up. I'm Black and I'm a girl, so I'm gonna eat these up. And I really, honestly, I love this book. This will definitely be a reread in the future. Just because once I recommended this to someone recently, and I forgot. I forgot, honestly, some of the points that I made. And as I was going back through my notes that I took, I was like, oh my God, I actually need to read this again because it's still relevant. And I recently read it. It's one of my more recent videos, but love this. Looking forward to reading through this. I'm actually gonna start this one first and then probably read this one second. So looking forward to completing this series. And then I have one more book by her, but I'm not gonna include it in this video. So the third book that I'm going to include is Invisible Child by Andrea Elliott. This is about poverty, survival, and hope in an American city. It was actually a winner of a Pulitzer Prize as well. What year did this come out? I thought this would be a good book. One, because it's nonfiction. Two, it came out in 2021. But two, also keeping in mind our current state of our nation. We're in a government shutdown right now, and a lot of people are facing food insecurity. They're facing financial insecurity as well for our government employees who may be missing out on a paycheck. It's the first of the month when I'm filming this, and everyone who's been impacted by the government shutdown, truly in my heart, I've been trying to think of ways where I can get involved to assist, either through volunteering. I know my church has extended our hours for our food pantry, so either getting involved that way or giving financially just to be of assistance. As a healthcare provider, I've also been just being there for my patients emotionally, supporting them during this time. It could be very stressful, and just an emotional experience. So just really trying to be a good listening ear for them, and then being of support too. So I decided this would be a good time just to pick up this read as well. It's nonfiction, and just wanting to learn more about one's experience facing poverty and having to survive poverty in our country specifically, where our country is known for being very abundant and having success for people available. That's, I feel like, what outside countries view us as. And honestly, in our current state, I view our country as one that is based on greed and selfishness, and not one that is filled with abundance, ready to support the people that live here, more so supporting the rich. That's me on my soapbox. But Invisible Child, on the back it says, "In Invisible Child, Pulitzer Prize winner Andrea Elliott follows 8 dramatic years in the life of Dasani, a girl whose imagination is as soaring as the skyscrapers near her Brooklyn shelter. In the sweeping narrative, Elliott weaves the story of Dasani's childhood with the history of her ancestors, tracing their passage from slavery to the Great Migration north. As Dasani comes of age, New York City's homeless crisis has exploded, deepening the chasm between rich and poor. She must guide her siblings through a world riddled by hunger, violence, racism, drug addiction, and the threat of foster care. Out of the street, Dasani becomes a fierce fighter to protect those who I love. When she finally escapes city life to enroll in a boarding school, she faces an impossible question. What if leaving poverty means abandoning your family and yourself? A work of luminous and riveting prose, Andrea Elliott's Invisible Child is an astonishing story about the power of resilience, the importance of family, and the cost of inequality, told through the crucible of one remarkable girl." So really excited to pick this one up. This is considered social science as well if you were to go look for it in the store. Okay. Then my fourth book is actually, I want to say this is a newer release. Let me confirm. And I've actually described this in a previous video as well, so I'm not going to give too much information about it. Yes, 2025 it came out, so it's a new release. It's called Erased: What American Patriarchy Has Hidden from Us. Anna Malika Tubbs is the author. She is a sister, and like I said before in my previous video, I want to get into the nitty-gritty of what the patriarchy is and how it directly impacts me so that I can better look out for the tactics of the enemy. So that's what I will be learning from this book. So I'm really excited to read this one as well. As you can tell, I'm excited to read most of them. I've been really trying to prioritize my fall TBR. It's been trying me. I was so excited to read it, but now I don't even care about it. Okay? But I believe I'm on my fifth book. Yeah, my fifth book that I'll be reading is a Toni Morrison. This may be my second Toni Morrison read. It's my second Toni Morrison read. This is The Source of Self-Regard. This is a collection of her selected essays, speeches, and meditations. And from my first read from Miss Toni, I loved it. I read Sula first. Probably should have read The Bluest Eye first. But I really enjoyed this book. This one is a nonfiction book. And do we have an insight to say what it's about? We have some reviews, but I don't think she describes what the book is about. Nope, they're just her essays. And we have Miss Toni Morrison on the back. She's gorgeous. I was having a conversation with one of my friends recently, and she was going into detail about all of the people when she makes it to heaven and through the gates of heaven, who she wants to talk to first. And she was going through like a bunch of family members and stuff. She said Adam and Eve. I said, no, pull over, Miss Toni Morrison. Come on, let's get Harriet Tubman over. Let's get everybody over. I got questions. I want to know how you did what you did. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. And then we're on our sixth book. My sixth book is Negro Land by Margot Jefferson. And this book is also Pulitzer Prize winning cultural critic. Margot Jefferson was born in 1947 in upper crust Black Chicago. Her father was a physician, her mother a socialite. In these pages, Jefferson takes us through the insular and discerning society. I call it Negro Land, she writes, because I still find Negro a word of wonders, glorious and terrible. Negro Land's pedigree dates back generations, having originated with antebellum blacks north and south. It evolved into a world of exclusive sororities, fraternities, networks, and clubs, a world in which skin color and hair texture were relentlessly evaluated alongside scholarly and professional achievements, where the talented 10th positioned themselves as the third race between whites and the masses of Negroes, and where the motto was achievement, invulnerability, comportment, at once incendiary and icy, provocative, and Negro Land is a landmark work on privilege, discrimination, and the fallacy of post-racial America. So I kind of got two different vibes going between Negro Land and Invisible Child, but I have interest in both. I'm interested in learning about both societies because I don't follow either. I'm born and raised in a middle class family. Both my parents work. I wouldn't say we live paycheck to paycheck. Maybe my parents hit it well, but my parents did what they had to do to take care of us and make sure me and my brother wanted for nothing. Honestly, they took great care of us. So interesting to see what these two sides of society look like, specifically from a Black perspective. And then my last book is another new release. It's actually my second read from this author. The first read from this author was The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. That book put me in a reading slump. I've been in a reading slump since I finished it. There hasn't been like a solid 4 or 5 star book that I've read since then. And it may be due to me picking up several shorter novels after. and me looking for more of a character development, but like there's only so much character development that can occur in a short novel. Really, it wasn't even a novel, it was just a book, a story, a novella. But the next and final book for my November nonfiction reads is Honorary Fanon Jeffers, Misbehaving at the Crossroads. This is one of her newest releases. I want to say it came out this year. It definitely did. Hang on. And it's essays and writings. But now that I'm looking at it, oh, okay. So this is nonfiction. This is from her. It's about her. Her, because it has her family tree included in it. Oh, I love a family tree. I love it. Oh, I love it. Can you tell it was just an automatic buy? I read the back and I was like, okay, cool. It's honorary. I'm going to buy it. Honorary's family tree. So the contents. Part 1 is In Search of Our Mother's Crossroads. Part 2, A Daughter's Theory. Part 3, Red Dirt Interlude. Part 4, Of Power and Other Innovations. Part 5, Blues for Boys, Blues for Men. Part 6, Misbehaving Women. Part 7, Search of Our Mother's Forgiveness. This book is about Honoré is at a crossroads. Traditional African Black American cultures present the crossroads as a place of simultaneous difficulty and potential. In contemporary times, Kimberly Crenshaw coined the phrase intersectionality in America. In many ways, they are at a third crossroads, attempting to fit into nations of femininity and respectability primarily assigned to white women while improvising strategies to combat oppression. In Misbehaving at the Crossroad, Jeffers explores the emotional and historical tensions in Black women's public lives and her own private life. She charts voyages from Black girlhood to womanhood and the currents buffeting these journeys, including the obstacles of racially gendered oppression, the challenges of documenting Black women's ancestry, the adultification of Black girls, the irony of Black female respectability politics, the origin of womanism, Black feminism, and resistance to white supremacy and patriarchy. As Jeffers shows with empathy and wisdom, naming difficult historical truths represents both blues and transcendence at crossroads that speaks. Necessary and sharply observed, provocative and humane, and full of the insight and brilliance that have characterized Jeffers' poetry and fiction, Misbehaving at the Crossroads illustrates the life of one extraordinary Black woman and her extraordinary foremothers. This sounds like a solid read. And it's on track. It's on trend. She's a solid author. And I need to get into her poetry as well, because I believe she wrote poetry before she wrote the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. So, love this. So, those are all the books that I will be reading for Nonfiction November. Let me know if you discovered any new reads that you're going to add to your TBR, or what books you're reading for Nonfiction November as well below. Give this video a like, and feel free to share it as well. We're welcoming everyone over here. All new faces. I want to see you. But until next time, y'all be blessed.